So you've probably been there, right? Staring at dashboards packed with numbers, but feeling like you're missing the real story. You've got mountains of data, seems like, but the actual answers, the insights you can act on, they always feel just out of reach. It's a really common thing, isn't it? Because look, real understanding doesn't just come from having more data. It comes from data that's connected. And well, in way too many places, that information is just trapped, stuck in silos. And that blocks your view, slows things down, and ultimately it really holds back growth. Okay, let's unpack this a bit.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is just the sheer speed and amount of data companies are creating today. It's warp speed, really. It's pouring in from everywhere, your CRMs, Salesforce, Dynamics, whatever, your ERP systems, SAP, Oracle, plus all the cloud apps, and importantly, those older legacy systems that are still running critical stuff. But the big challenge, like you said, is even with all this data, it's mostly disconnected. Think about it. Sales knows one thing from the CRM. Ops has a totally different view from, say, order fulfillment. And marketing, well, they've probably got their own spreadsheet somewhere, maybe even different IDs for the same customer. It makes getting a single true picture almost impossible. It's like trying to read a book with pages missing from every chapter.
Right. It's that hidden cost, that disconnection. So the big question then is, how do we actually bridge these gaps? How do we break down the walls, get these different systems talking the same language? And this is where it gets really interesting. We're going to dive into Azure Data Factory. People often call it ADF, Microsoft's sort of cloud-native data integration powerhouse. It's pretty much built for this exact problem.
Exactly. ADF's main job is, well, literally connecting the dots across all your data. It's designed to pull data from, dozens, maybe hundreds of different systems, on-prem, cloud, APIs, you name it. But crucially, it also orchestrates how that data moves and, importantly, transforms it. And that transformation part is key. It cleans the data, shapes it, gets it ready. So your analytics teams or your AI models or just your dashboards can actually use it right away. There's a great analogy from the source material. Think of ADF like building digital bridges between those data islands we talked about. It becomes the central hub, turning all those separate systems into one smooth, governed, efficient data highway. It's more than just moving bits around.
And its versatility is really something else. We're not just talking standard databases, are we? I mean, whether it's huge batch loads from an ERP, maybe complex JSON files coming in from APIs, or even like unstructured stuff from your marketing clouds, blobs of text, click data. ADF seems to handle it all. It cleans it, preps it. What kind of specific challenges do those different data types usually present? How does ADF make that easier?
Oh, that's a great point because, yeah, each one has its own headaches. Those big ERP batch loads, you need really solid error handling. If a huge transfer fails halfway, you can't afford to start over. ADF has built-in ways to manage that, restarts and things. Then you've got JSON from APIs. Super common, but often deeply nested and tricky to parse. Normally, you'd write tons of custom code, but ADF has these visual data flow tools. So you can map it all out, flatten structures, handle changing schemas, even figure out schemas automatically, often without writing code.
Well,
and for the unstructured blobs images, text documents ADF helps ingest them smoothly into places like Azure Data Lake. That sets them up for later processing, maybe by AI services or NLP. So it's not just handling, it's providing smart tools to hide a lot of that complexity.
that visual aspect, the abstraction, sounds like a huge help for developers.
Yeah.
Definitely a time saver. Now, connecting this to the bigger picture, ADF doesn't work alone, right? It fits into a larger ecosystem.
Absolutely. It's definitely a team player. You wouldn't typically run ADF in total isolation. Think of it as the orchestrator, maybe the central nervous system for the Azure data world. It works hand in hand with other big services, Azure Synapse Analytics, Databricks, Azure Data Lake Storage. So ADF might extract and transform data, then load it into Synapse for super fast SQL analytics feeding your BI reports. Or it could feed that cleaned data into Databricks, where data scientists build advanced machine learning models using Spark. And for just massive amounts of raw data, structured or not, it can land it efficiently in Azure Data Lake. So together, these tools create this cohesive, scalable, secure platform. And it's really built around driving business outcomes, not just storing data.
That synergy makes sense. It shows how these tools unlock deeper insights together. Okay, so let's bring this down to the real world for you, our listener.
Yeah.
What does this actually mean day to day? This isn't just about tech plumbing. It's about solving actual business problems. Let's look at some examples.
Okay, picture this. You want to understand the full customer journey, everything. First website, click to the latest support call. Without connected data, that's incredibly hard. Sales has the CRM info, right? The web team has clickstream data. Every button click, every page view. And customer service has support tickets, maybe in ServiceNow or something similar, all separate. With ADF, you can actually stitch all that together. Clickstream data, CRM details from Dynamics, support tickets, and suddenly you're not looking at puzzle pieces anymore. You see the whole customer experience. You can spot issues, maybe predict who might leave, engage them proactively. It changes the game from reactive to proactive.
Yeah, that's powerful. And it's not just customer-facing stuff, right? Operations can benefit hugely, too.
Mhm.
I remember working with this e-commerce company. They were always fighting inventory issues, delivery delays.
Mhm. Common problem.
Their sales data was here, inventory there, shipping in some old ERP system. Total disconnect.
Mhm.
ADF let them pull it all together in near real time. Supply chain info, sales forecasts, logistics updates.
Yeah, okay.
Suddenly, they could optimize inventory dynamically, see potential disruptions coming, adjust deliveries. It wasn't guesswork anymore. And you could just feel the relief, not just in the data, but freeing up the team from constantly chasing information.
And honestly, once you break down those silos, the uses are almost endless. Beyond the obvious wins like better compliance reporting or truly personal customer experiences, you start thinking about predictive maintenance, using sensor data combined with repair logs, or sophisticated fraud detection, linking transactions with user behavior across different channels, or even super granular demand forecasting that adapts to market shifts instantly. The possibilities just multiply. The big shift is moving from asking what happened to asking what will happen and what should we do.
So if there's one sort of big takeaway from our deep dive today, maybe it's this. Azure Data Factory isn't just another data tool. It's really a business enabler. It's about helping your organization move from just having loads of data to actually getting real answers, real intelligence you can use. It turns data hoarding into a strategic edge.
Exactly. And this kind of leads to a final thought, maybe a question for you, the listener, to chew on. Once these silos are gone, once your data flows freely and tells a coherent story, what completely new business questions could you even ask? What innovations become possible that maybe you couldn't even imagine before? What advantage lies hidden, waiting for your connected data to reveal it?